It won again! Oh my god, this is actually working! What if you could win every time, never have to place any bets, and still make hundreds of dollars a day? Would that have any impact on your life? I put in $20 once into the sports betting AI and it turns $100 on average a day. Just to be clear, never do any betting. It's addictive. Only bet if you know you will win. In this video, I'm going to tell you how I came across this low-key sports betting AI that's secretly making me $100 a day. Is it still working for me? And give the secret system on how you can make it work, whether you're a programmer or not. How did I come across this low-key betting AI? When I was a kid, what do you think I loved playing the most on PlayStation? No, it was not Crash Bandicoot, though I liked that game. The game was FIFA, and because of that, my love for football was born. Every year I played a new FIFA that came out, and when I say I studied and watched everything related to football. If I studied for school like that, I would have not just been an A+ student, I would be a genius. It's the year 2022 and it's time for the World Cup. I said to myself, I have 50 euros and I'm only going to bet on Croatia. But what I saw on the betting side shocked me. I didn't know you could place bets on esports and I saw FIFA on the list. Since I'm an entrepreneur, my mind always thinks, how can I make money? That's when it hit me. I could make money with esport FIFA. Since I know a lot about FIFA, the rules of the game, top ranked players, you name it, I know it. But I was missing something important. To succeed with betting, you need to spend a lot of time placing bets, learning about new players, and thinking of new strategies. But I didn't have time for that. I thought what would be the most efficient way to place bets and make money? It had to be with AI. I found some AI bots that claimed they have over 95% win rate. The issue was that the bot costs around $50,000 to $80,000. If you could find a programmer online that could code it for you, it would cost around $10,000, but that's sketchy. They could ghost you, and that's that. I'm not saying everyone will ghost you, but the chances are high. The reason a programmer is cheaper because it's not a done for you. You need to give a programmer inputs, but more on that a bit later. I came back to my thinking corner and thought of something genius. My friend is a programmer. He owes me some money, so I could pitch the idea to him. We agreed to do this together and split everything 50-50. And he chose FIFA for obvious reasons, but it also fits the criteria. You can also bet on standard sports, but there is a problem with the bookmaker's experience and exposure. The bookmaker has been dealing with football, basketball, and tennis for decades, therefore making it hard to create a successful AI. So what's the criteria? It needs to have a lot of matches, like 50+ a day. Because of that, we skipped League of Legends. Also, it needs to be somewhat consistent over time. The fewer meta changes, updates, players, and exposure on other betting sites, the better. For the AI to be successful for the esport you chose, it needs to be trained on abnormal amounts of data about historical matches. Try to get coefficients for those matches so that they are correct. As many as you can, because you will need them to test whether the model is good. The AI will fail if you don't have this next thing. I know pretty much everything there is about FIFA and what are the important metrics. Knowing things about the esport is 80% of the work. If you don't know anything about any esport, find someone that does. That someone needs to have great experience and knowledge. For example, they follow the injuries of players in the NFL and the weather for that day. Based on that educated guess, they can tell which team will win. We had a good system since it was making us $100 a day. These sites couldn't figure out if we were doing the bets or the AI, because we made the AI look human. I put $20 once into the betting site so that the AI has some money to work with. AI gradually increased the amount it will bet with. It started with like a few cents to $1, $5, etc. As a human, it's impossible to click something with such speed and precision. So the AI had delays between actions. As a human, you need to sleep, right? So did our AI. It didn't bet for around 8 to 9 hours a day. That's why it needed 2 to 4 weeks to get to the $100 a day mark. If we wanted, the AI could make like 2K in 5 days, but the chances of our account getting banned or restricted were high. Plus, each new account requires an ID, and we only had 2. One day I woke up and saw the message from my programmer friend. "It's serious, call me when you can." Immediately I felt a huge pressure on my chest. The only thing I could think about was the AI stopped working. I made coffee, sat down and called him. He said those 3 forbidden words. It stopped working. The league in FIFA that was successful for us was removed from all the betting sites. We tried other esports like CSGO, Dota 2, Street Fighter, but with no success. Then we tried NBA 2K and had small success. We wanted to scale it, but something unthinkable happened. My friend got in an awful car accident and he's still recovering. Don't skip any part of this video, because if you do, your AI will fail, since this is the final piece of the puzzle. The secret system to make it work, whether you're a programmer or not. Figure out relevant parameters based on the esport you chose. Things like number of hits, amounts of kills, etc. If the esport doesn't have any ELO system, you will most likely need to create your own version. If you don't know what ELO system is, it's a standardized rating system commonly used in competitive gaming. You may have to develop your own method for assessing and ranking player skills level. ELO systems are designed to gauge player performance and adjust rankings based on match outcomes. But in the absence of such system, creating an alternative method becomes necessary for fair and competitive play. Give the AI a single input representing a team or a player. Then the AI will have the opportunity to internally represent that player or team as a sequence of several parameters that it understands. But to you as a human, this could be completely random numbers and information. How to bet? The idea is to study methods of betting. Try one and see the results. For example, methods of betting could be fixed state betting, betting on multiple pairs simultaneously, progressive betting, etc. The final piece of the puzzle is how you train the AI with all the data you have, so it starts making you money. You need to separate historical data into training and test parts. The general idea is to split the data into 3 parts. A is the part with which you learn how to guess who will win, regardless of the odds. This is called training. B is the part which the model checks himself that he actually figured something out, and not that he just memorized the things he studied. With this, he corrects himself while studying. You may or may not have coefficients here, and this is called validation. C is the part where you test betting. Here you check what the fully learned model is and which betting technique is the most fruitful. It is more important that the model is good at B part, because if he doesn't study directly, he only checks his knowledge, so he cannot learn it by heart. This part is a data for which you have coefficients, and on it you check whether the trained model is good before you let it bet. The first step is training the model. It actively learns by adjusting its internal settings based on provided data, reducing errors in predictions or assigned tasks. This step is crucial for model to learn from its experience. The second step is validation, where the model is examined to ensure it learned in a way that works well with new, unseen data. This is done using a specific data set not seen during training. The model is then evaluated on this data to measure its ability to handle new information and solve problems accurately. These processes happen internally within the model, and while you don't need to know all the technical details, understanding these basic steps helps you know how computers learn and become reliable when dealing with new information. Through several iterations, the goal of the model is to be as good as possible in the validation part. When he finishes the training, you test him manually on the test set. If you are in the plus, hit the bet button and congratulations, the AI is working. If you are not in the plus, do the following. More learning about the sport. Maybe there's a missing parameter that you're overlooking. Change the network architecture. Alter the number of layers, some hyperparameters, etc. Change your betting strategy, how you invest, the amounts of different pairs, etc. Perhaps you can invent a parameter based on some observations. Repeat the learning and betting process. If the language was Python, The library was Keras. Another popular library and a good option is PyTorch, but there are others as well. What I just mentioned is needed to create the AI model. If you're not a programmer and you don't intend to do anything with this information, let me offer you a solution. Potentially make $52,916 with a product as a complete beginner with zero experience, like your grandma could do it. In this video, I'll walk you through the entire process and how I created a product that made $52,916. Click on it.